The Battle of Köse Dağ, 1243. The Seljuk defeat that opened Anatolia to Mongol domination. Introduction. The silence before the storm. In the early 13th century, Anatolia stood at the height of its prosperity. Trade routes were active, cities were wealthy, and the Anatolian Seljuk State ruled from Konya with confidence. To many, the Seljuks appeared unshakable. But far to the east, an unstoppable force was rising. A force that had already destroyed kingdoms, erased cities, and broken empires. That force was the Mongols. And in the year 1243, on the plains of Köse Dağ, Anatolia would face one of the most decisive defeats in its history. Part 1. The rise of the Mongol war machine. The Mongol Empire was not merely expanding, it was devouring the world. Founded by Genghis Khan, the Mongol state relied on extreme mobility, perfect discipline, ruthless psychological warfare. Cities that resisted were annihilated. Cities that surrendered were often destroyed anyway. From Central Asia to China, from Persia to the Caucasus, the Mongols left devastation behind them. And soon, their gaze turned west, toward Anatolia. Part 2. False confidence in the Seljuk court. At the time, the Seljuk throne was held by Sultan Kaykhusraw II. The palace was magnificent. The treasury was full. But the state itself was deeply fragile. Rivalries among emirs. Tension between the central authority and Turkmen tribes. The devastating aftermath of the Baba Ishak rebellion. The Seljuk army still appeared large, but it lacked unity, discipline, and experience against a force like the Mongols. Worst of all, the Mongol threat was not taken seriously. Part 3. The Mongols at Anatolia's gates. When the Mongol commander Baiju Noyan entered eastern Anatolia, the illusion shattered. Erzurum fell. Cities were burned. Populations were massacred. This was no raid. It was a direct challenge. The Mongols were testing the Seljuks to see whether Anatolia would resist or collapse. Part 4. The decision for war. In 1243, the Seljuk leadership faced a critical choice: defensive warfare, buying time, or a decisive open-field battle. Young and ambitious, Sultan Kaykhusraw II and several emirs believed numerical superiority would bring victory. They underestimated their enemy. The decision was made. The Seljuk army would confront the Mongols at Köse Dağ. Part 5. The plain of Köse Dağ. Köse Dağ lay between Sivas and Erzincan, wide, open, and dangerously deceptive. The Seljuk army was larger in number, but poorly coordinated, lacked battlefield discipline. The Mongol army was smaller, highly experienced, functioned like a single, deadly organism. This would not be a battle of numbers, but a battle of strategy and command. Part 6. The deadly Mongol tactic. As the battle began, the Mongols appeared to retreat. This was no defeat. It was their most infamous tactic, the feigned withdrawal. Believing the enemy was fleeing, Seljuk units charged forward. Formation broke, command collapsed, units became isolated. At that moment, the Mongols turned back. Part 7. Total collapse. Mongol cavalry attacked from every direction. Arrows darkened the sky. Seljuk soldiers panicked. Lines disintegrated. Fear spread instantly. Retreat turned into flight. Then came the moment that sealed everything. Sultan Kaykhusraw II abandoned the battlefield. The army lost not only the battle, but its will to fight. Part 8. Aftermath of Köse Dağ. The Seljuk army was destroyed. The Mongols advanced freely into Anatolia. Sivas, Kayseri, Erzincan cities were looted. The state was paralyzed. Köse Dağ was not just a military defeat, it was the collapse of authority. Part 9. The Seljuks become vassals. After 1243, the Anatolian Seljuk State was no longer independent. Heavy tribute payments, Mongol overseers' political decisions dictated from afar. Sultans still sat on the throne, but power belonged to the Mongols. This marked the beginning of the Seljuk State as a shadow government. Part X. Historical consequences. The Battle of Köse Dağ was not merely a loss, it was a turning point. After it, central authority collapsed. Anatolia fragmented into beyliks. The long-term path toward the Ottoman rise began. History often works this way. From great destruction, new powers emerge. Conclusion. At Köse Dağ, the Seljuks did not just lose a battle, they lost their independence. But Anatolia did not disappear into history. Instead, it entered a new and turbulent era, one that would eventually give birth to a new empire,